assignment is a common assessment tool. UVLê provides a comprehensive set of tools for conducting assignment activities. Specifically, UVLê is efficient for online collection of assignments. Some of its features are organized compilation and downloading of assignments, setting up of strict deadlines, and different modes of giving feedback. For this video, we will demonstrate how to set up an assignment activity, how to check the status of submission, and how to download all outputs at once. How to set up an assignment activity. Do not forget to click Turn Editing on. You can't add resources or activities when you're not in edit mode. Go to the topic where you want to put the assignment. And click the corresponding Add an Activity or Resource link. In the list of activities and resources, click Assignment and click Add. Take note, under a teacher basic role, only basic options for assignments are available. For most users, these basic functions are enough to conduct assignments in UVLê. More options will be visible when you upgrade to full teacher features. Let's begin in setting up the assignment. First, enter a name for the assignment activity. Then, you may use the description box to insert instructions and details about the assignment. To make the description easily accessible to students, check Display Description on course page. Next is Additional Files. Using this feature, teachers can include attachments to their assignment. To add an attachment, simply drag and drop files to the File Uploader box. The next step is Availability Settings. Here, teachers can set the submission period of the assignment. First, set the date and time when students can start submitting outputs. The Allow Submissions From setting prevents students from submitting their assignment before the specified start date and time. By default, the Allow Submissions From date is enabled and set to the day and time you created the assignment activity. If you uncheck the Enable box, students will be able to submit as soon as you display the activity in the course page. Next, set the deadline of assignment. There are two submission end dates that may be set in UVLê: the due date and the cutoff date. Due date. The due date setting marks the official deadline for submission. It establishes when the assignment is due. Submissions will still be allowed after the due date, but any assignments submitted after the due date are marked as late. Note also that when the due date is enabled, the assignment is displayed in the Upcoming Events block, 21 days or less before the due date. Setting up the due date is useful for keeping students to be on schedule. Cutoff date. If the cutoff date is enabled, students can submit after the due date but not after the cutoff date. The cutoff date is the date beyond which students will not be able to access the assignment activity, and so students will not be able to submit the assignment or edit their previous submission. If you want to set a strict rule on not allowing for late submissions, do not forget to enable the cutoff date. Take note, the cutoff date can't be set before the due date. If you accidentally set the cutoff date before the due date, UVLê will send an error message. If you set the cutoff date similar to the due date, then the late submissions will not be accepted. That is, students will not be able to submit past the due date. If you set the cutoff date after the due date, then late submissions are accepted only until the cutoff date. Next, we will set the submission type. There are 3 submission types: online text, file submissions, PDF submissions. Online text. If online text is enabled, a text editor will appear for submission. Students will answer online and they must type their answers in the text editor. As teachers, we can set a word limit to their responses. This is an example of an online text assignment. In general, this submission type accepts any type of file, so long as it doesn't exceed the file size limit. As teachers, we can set the file size limit and the maximum number of files they can submit. Take note, the site upload limit is 50 megabytes per file. If you need a higher upload limit, you may send a request via UP Diliman help desk. This is an example of a file submission assignment. PDF submission. PDF submission is similar to file submission, but it only accepts PDF file. Take note, to prevent confusion among students, it is best to choose at most one submission type only. Also, the first set of options applies to file submission type, while the last 2 options apply to PDF submission type. As mentioned, you may choose at most one submission type, which means teachers have the option to not indicate any submission type. If you did not check any of the submission types, the assignment is classified as an offline type. This means that no submission is required online, and outputs are likely submitted in class. Take note, offline type assignments are useful for delivering activity materials and for marking deadlines of requirements. The due date of offline assignments will still be displayed in the upcoming events block. In addition, setting up an offline type assignment may be used in posting grades online. That is, the assignments are submitted in class, but their grades are recorded online. We've prepared a separate video about grading assignments. After submission type, we have CROT. CROT is a local anti-plagiarism tool, which supports common document file formats. Examples are .doc, .pdf, and .txt, among others. If enabled, it can compare the submission with other files submitted in UVLê, that is, within your course page or not. Later, we will show how CROT works. For now, let's enable CROT. The last group is grade. By default, the grading type is point, which means there is a pointing system ranging from 0 up to a maximum grade. Teachers may edit the maximum grade. Be sure to indicate the appropriate maximum grade, since it serves as the baseline for computing percent grades. Once done and satisfied, click Save and return to course. Done. The assignment was successfully posted. Take note, under a teacher basic rule, submission behavior in assignments are set to default. Students will be able to submit and change their submission without limit until the cutoff date if enabled, but any changes made after the due date is already marked late. Check the status of submission. First, go to your course page, then click the assignment activity. Click View All Submissions. You will be able to view a summary of students and their submissions. There's a column for status, which indicates the status of submission. There are 3 remarks for status: submitted, late submission, and no submissions. Beside the status column, you will see the exact time the file was last modified or submitted. Few columns to the right of status is the file submission column. Here, you will see the student's respective files submitted for the assignment. If CROT was enabled, a similarity score is displayed beside the file name. The similarity ranges from 0% to 100%, where 100% means exact copy or high similarity. The score will not instantly appear after submission. The CROT similarity score is computed and updated every 30 minutes. Take note, the status of submission is also visible to the student's end. They will see files they've uploaded and the exact time it was submitted or accepted. In addition, the CROT similarity score is also visible to students. As teachers and as may be necessary, you may instruct students to edit their submission whenever the similarity score is beyond an acceptable limit. Besides CROT, UVLê has a link to another anti-plagiarism tool, which can compare text to several online contents outside UVLê. You can find this feature in the bottom part of the page, under plagiarism. We will show you how this works in a separate video. How to download all submissions at once. If you want to download all submissions at once, go to the assignment activity, then click View All Submission. You will see a drop-down list box. Click the drop-down list box and choose Download All Submissions. All files will be downloaded in zip file. This ends the first half of discussion for assignments. In another video, we will talk about grading assignments and sending feedback online. For questions or clarifications, open a ticket in UP Diliman Help Desk.